With just a handful of laps remaining, Fangio's charge came to a sudden and heartbreaking halt. A connecting rod let go deep within that supercharged straight eight, and the great Argentine coasted to a silent stop, his engine broken. But that day at Silverstone was only the opening act of a far greater drama. For the championship of 1950 was to be decided across just 7 races, and the 2 Alfa Romeo teammates, Farina and Fangio, would spend the entire summer locked in a contest of nerve and speed that swung back and forth from one Grand Prix to the next. Fangio struck back, winning in Monaco through the chaos and the crashed cars, and again at Spa and at Reims, that quiet Argentine revealing a genius that would one day make him the greatest. He was 43 years old, a doctor of law, a nephew of the great coach builder Pininfarina, and a man who had raced through the perilous years before the war and survived them all. Now he was champion of the world. His driving style was upright, elegant, arms outstretched, a manner so widely imitated that it became the very picture of how a racing driver ought to look. Yet history, in its way, would remember the pupil more than the master, for Fangio would go on to win 5 titles. And consider for a moment the machine that carried him there. The Alfa Romeo 158, the Alfetta, a design whose roots reached back to before the war, to the 1930s. It was small and slender and beautifully made, its supercharged straight-8 engine screaming to power figures that seemed scarcely believable for its size. In that first season, it was quite simply unbeatable. Alfa Romeo won every single championship Grand Prix they entered. No rival could touch them. The red cars from Milan swept all before them, and the only real contest to be found. But triumph, as ever in this sport, carried within it the seeds of its own ending. For that magnificent Alfetta, so utterly dominant in 1950, was by now a very old design, conceived in another decade, refined and re-refined until there was little left to give. To coax those astonishing power figures from its little supercharged engine, the car drank fuel at a rate almost beyond belief, needing to stop again and again to be replenished. So let us return, one final time, to the man at the heart of it all. Giuseppe Farina, the Turin aristocrat, cool and imperious behind the wheel. He drove with a distinctive, upright style, arms outstretched, a poise that would be and so, as our story draws towards its close, consider what that single season set in motion. From a windswept airfield in Northamptonshire, a road was opened that would wind through every corner of the globe. From Monaco's harbour to the mountains of Japan, from the deserts of the Middle East to the streets of Singapore aglow beneath the floodlights. It began with the roar of those supercharged Alfettas and the upright, fearless figure of Farina at their head. Fangio would rise, of course, and so we come to the very last page of our story. That first extraordinary summer now behind us, its echoes still ringing down the decades. Think of it. A handful of races, a scattering of circuits across Europe, a grid of men in cork helmets and cotton overalls. No safety barriers to speak of, no seatbelts, no fireproof suits, only courage and the deafening song of those engines. From such humble, dangerous, glorious beginnings grew the greatest motor racing championship the world has ever known. In the years following the Second World War, Europe lay in ruins, cities were rubble, entire nations were rebuilding. And yet, on the dusty circuits and country roads of the continent, a new obsession was taking root, one that would define the sport of motor racing for generations to come. By 1951, the World Championship had already begun its first faltering steps. But it was a young Argentine driver, brought to Europe by chance and circumstance, who would transform Formula One from a gentleman. By 1952, Alfa Romeo's grip on the championship was beginning to slip. The Italian marque had dominated, yes, but the tide was turning. Faster cars were emerging from across Europe, and the margin of Fangio's superiority, though still vast, demanded something more than brilliance alone. It was then that Mercedes-Benz entered the fray. The German manufacturer, rebuilding itself from the ashes of war just as Europe was, saw Formula One as the ultimate proof of resurrection. They arrived not as gentlemen racers. That season of 1954 would become the stuff of legend. Not because the Mercedes was invincible, but because Fangio drove it as if he possessed knowledge the machine itself had not yet discovered. He won the championship with a margin so commanding that even his own team struggled to keep pace. 5 victories from 12 races, a points haul that left his nearest rival, the British driver Stirling Moss, nearly 50 points adrift. Yet it was not the victories that defined that year. It was a single race, the German Grand Prix. In the opening laps, Fangio sat behind the Maseratis, studying them, learning their rhythm, understanding where they were quick and where they were vulnerable. This was the hunter's patience, not desperation, but the cold calculation of a man who knew his prey. Then, on lap 17, he made his move. A breathless, overtaking maneuver on one of the Maseratis at a corner that left spectators gasping. The second fell soon. That September afternoon at the Nürburgring would live forever in the memory of everyone who witnessed it, not as a mere victory, but as a watershed moment in motorsport history. Journalists and rival drivers alike struggled to find words adequate to the scale of what they had seen. One British correspondent wrote simply, "We have witnessed something that transcends sport." The legend had begun to harden into something immutable, something that would outlast the machines themselves. For Mercedes, yet the championship itself was merely the crown upon an edifice of greatness already constructed. The true measure of that season lay not in the silverware, but in what Fangio had revealed about the sport's very nature. For in those months at the wheel of the Mercedes, he had demonstrated something that transcended the conventional wisdom of motor racing. That the driver, when possessed of sufficient will and understanding, could elevate a machine beyond its engineering limitations. The rest of the formula, in the winter that followed, as the racing world took breath and reflected upon what had unfolded across that golden season, a peculiar phenomenon began to take hold. Young drivers, watching films of Fangio's performances, studied them not as victories, but as lessons, as blueprints for a new grammar of racing that he alone had authored. They tried to replicate his lines. They could not. They mimicked his aggression. It was recklessness in their hands, for what Fangio possessed could not be taught in a classroom or absorbed from a cinema seat.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. We are live at Zandvoort and oh man, it's good to be back. How are we all doing today? Drop us a hello in the chat. Tell us where you're watching from. I love seeing that.
And if you're new here, hit subscribe.
Okay, right off the bat, Race Control has closed the pit exit and it is pouring out there.
That's a safety call. They don't want cars streaming out of the pit lane into standing water with no visibility.
You can barely see the bank. Okay, some news. Sector 18 is now clear. That's the good stuff. But hang on, yellow flags in Sector 14. Somebody's found trouble in the wet.
14 brings you toward that long run into the final banking. Easy place to lose the rear on a river of a track.
And now double yellow in Sector 7. We've got another one. So that's 2 areas of the track flagged now, and we still haven't started this thing.
Sector 7 is the run down to that fast right. Cars are aquaplaning off the racing line. Someone's in trouble there too.
Man, this is getting messy fast. Slow down everyone, please. So while we wait, let's talk pole, Lando Norris starts us off first on the grid in these awful conditions. And right behind him, George Russell. That's a front row that could get very interesting into turn 1. Oh, hang on, this is spreading now. Double yellow in 16, 13, 15, and now 3 and 4 as well. That's 5 sectors flagged in a matter of seconds.
That's not one incident anymore. That's the whole track telling us it's
And here we go again. Double yellow in sector 5 now. Plus 14's flagged once more, the same spot from before toward that final banking.
That corner keeps biting. The water's pooling there and nobody can hold the rear.
Honestly, at this point, I can't see how they let anyone run. This is chaos. And there's another one, double yellow now in sector 12. That's yet another part of the track lighting up. I've honestly lost count.
12's the entry to the infield section. If it's wet there too, there's basically no clean line left anywhere.
So where exactly do they expect these cars to go? And another one, double yellow in sector 8 now. That's the middle of the lap gone too. Honestly, it's easier to name the corners that aren't flagged.
8 is quick and committed. If they're throwing yellows there, the grip's just not there.
And would you believe it? Double yellow now in sector 11 as well. Another one, that's just piling on top of everything we've already got.
11 feeds back onto the run toward the banking. Same story, no grip anywhere on that stretch.
And now sector 6 goes yellow as well. It just never stops. Sector 10 too, double yellow there now. Oh, hang on, sector 10's gone green. Clear again.
Don't get excited. That's the water moving around, not the track drying.
And here we go again. Double yellow in sector 9 now. That's the exit of the infield, right where they'd be picking up the throttle. Not a place you want to be caught out.
9's where they load up for the next straight. Yellow there means the standing water's right on the racing line.
So we've basically flagged the whole lap now. I mean, what's actually left that's green? All right, let's take a breath and look at that front row. Lando Norris on pole, George Russell right alongside him. And behind them, young Kimi Antonelli third with Piastri fourth. That's a serious top 4 to be starting in the wet.
And that's the worry. Norris and Piastri both fighting for the title, and now they're throwing them into this.
Exactly. One mistake at turn 1 and a championship swings on it. My heart's all right. Let's talk about that turn 1 for a second, because in these conditions, it's the scariest place on the whole lap. It's a full 180 right-hander, the slowest corner they'll take all day, down to something like 3% of top speed.
And that's exactly why it's so hard to pass there. Everyone's braking on the same tight line, so there's no room to go around the outside without running into the wet.
Look down that grid though, every single car sitting on the intermediates. Nobody's brave enough for slicks in this, and I don't blame them.
It's the right call. With water on the racing line, a slick tyre wouldn't even get you to turn 1.
Oh, hang on, we've got green in sector 16. First clear bit of track we've seen all lap. That's the run down to the last corner, so at least the approach to the line is clean now.
It means the marshals have cleared whatever was there. Doesn't dry the water.
And another one, so sector 4 is clear now too. We're ticking these off one by one. That's the run through the middle of the lap, so bit by bit this track is coming back to us.
Green flag, sure, but don't let that fool you. The water hasn't gone anywhere.
No, you're right. Clear of debris doesn't mean grippy. It's still a skating rink out there. Norris on pole, Russell right alongside him. And honestly, in this weather, the start off the line is going to be worth more than any lap time they set yesterday. Because Norris and Russell have been trading blows all season, and now they get the run to that flooded turn one side by side. Whew!
And whoever gets the cleaner launch controls everything. In the wet, track position out front is gold. You're not driving in someone else's spray.
Let's talk Piastri for a second. Fourth on the grid, but he's the one leading this championship and starting behind his own teammate on a day like this. He needs points. He does not need a swim in the gravel at turn 1. Tricky balance, that.
And in the wet, he can't.
And there it is. Sector 3 is green now too. We're getting the whole lap back piece by piece. That's 3, 4, 16, all clear. Feels like the track's slowly saying, okay, come on then, let's race.
Clear of debris, still soaked. Every one of those greens is a corner.
Oh, hang on. Word coming through from race control. Car 23 Albon noted for failing to follow the race director's instructions. That's before we've even gone green properly. Come on, what's he done there?
Usually a formation lap thing. Wrong.
Oh, and now another one. Car 3 Verstappen. Same note, failing to follow the race director's instructions. 2 of them now before we've even got going properly. What is happening on that formation lap?
Same story most likely. The delta or grid positioning on the.
Oh, come on. And now a third. Car 55 Sainz, same note, failing to follow the race director's instructions. 3 drivers now. This isn't one guy getting it wrong. This is half the grid.
When it's this many, it points at the delta being tough to hold in the wet.
Oh, you have got to be kidding me. Now a 4th. Car 44 Hamilton, same note, failing to follow the race director's instructions. That's 4 drivers now. Albon, Verstappen, Sainz, and now Hamilton.
Right, when it's 4 cars, this stops being about the drivers and starts being about the conditions. Nobody could hold.
Okay, and we've got the all clear now. Sector 11 is green again. So the track's cleaned up. We're good to race properly. Norris leads them away. Russell right behind. Antonelli third.
And keep an eye on turn 1. It's the slowest corner on the whole lap. Basically a hairpin they crawl through.
Right, that big banked right-hander. Why is that such a nightmare to pass into?
Because you're braking from top speed down to almost nothing.
So there it is. Norris on pole here at Zandvoort. Russell alongside him on the front row. And Antonelli third, right in the mix already. That's a big grid slot for the youngster.
It is, but starting third here is tricky.
And there it is. Sector 13's clear now too. The whole lap's green. So no more excuses, no more spray. This is proper racing from here.
Good. Track's clean, everyone's on the same page. Now it's just about that launch.
Exactly what I want to see. Norris out front. Oh, hang on. Yellow flag again, Sector 11. And another name on the sheet. Car 43, Colapinto. Same note as the rest. Failing to follow the race director's instructions.
That's 5 now. Which just proves the point. This was the whole field, not 1 or 2 drivers messing up.
So we're back under yellows in 11. Deep breath, let's see what's caused it. While we wait on this yellow, let me throw a name at you. Lewis Hamilton, 5th on the grid today. You know he's going to be looking at that long run to turn 1 and thinking, right, who can I pick off?
And from 5th, he's got options. If the front 4 squabble in.
And there we go. Sector 10's clear now too. Green flag waving. So the yellows are lifting, one by one. We're getting close to the real thing here.
Which means everyone can finally commit through there. No lifting, full attack.
Oh no, hang on, we've got yellow in Sector 4 now. And it's gone double yellow. Double waved yellows in 4. Something's happened out there.
Double yellow means slow right down, no overtaking. There's a car or a hazard on the track itself, not just off to the side.
Let's get eyes on it. I want to make sure everyone's okay. Okay, good news. Sector 5's just gone green again. So whatever that was, it's cleared. No car stranded, no damage that we can see. Phew.
That's the one that mattered. Green in 5 means the hazard's gone, not just tucked away.
Right, so we're clearing these sectors one by one and building back to a proper start. Deep breath, everyone. Right, let's talk about the man on pole. Lando Norris leading them all out today at Zandvoort. And right behind him, George Russell, then the young Antonelli third. That's a proper front row and a bit.
And keep an eye on turn 1, the slowest corner.
Okay, Sector 11's clear. Good, tick that one off. But wait, no, we've got double yellow now in Sector 3.
Double waved again. Slow right down, no overtaking through there. Something's on the racing line.
Okay, and there it is. Sector 3's back to green. Whatever that was, it is gone. Clean track through there now.
Green again. No overtaking flag left hanging. They can commit through that section now.
And Sector 7's just gone green too. That's another one off the list. We're nearly there now, folks. The track's coming back to life piece by piece.
7 clear means the whole middle of the lap is open again. Almost a full green board now.
So Norris can breathe out. Clean run building toward that. And Sector 6 is clear too. We're really close now. Oh, and news from the stewards. They've looked at Albon, car 23, for not following the race director's instructions. Verdict, no further action. Same for Verstappen and same for Sainz. And one more from the stewards. Hamilton, car 44, looked at for the same thing. Verdict's in already, no further investigation. He's clear too.
That's 4 of them now, all cleared for the same instruction mess. Nobody's getting punished for that.
Right, hold on. We've got double yellow in Sector 10 now. Somebody's slowed or stopped through there. No cars off that we can see yet, but the drivers have to back right off through that stretch.
Double yellow means be ready to stop. No overtaking.
And there we go. Sector 8's clear, and Sector 9 right behind it. The board's nearly all green now. So whatever slowed them through 10, we're getting the all clear piece by piece. Almost home.
8 and 9 back means only that double yellow stretch is left to sort. Once 10...
Oh, hang on. No, we're back the other way. Double yellow now in Sector 8. That one had just gone green a moment ago, and now it's flashing again.
So something's happened right there fresh. A car slowing or stopping in 8 this time.
Drivers lifting again through that stretch. Nobody wants to be the one caught out here. Okay, while they sort out that last yellow, let's talk about who's actually up front today. Norris on pole, right where he wants to be. Russell alongside him on the front row, Antonelli third. That second row is where I'm watching honestly.
And Piastri lurking in 4th. If Norris gets...
And there it is. Sector 8's back to green. That last yellow's gone. So we're clean the whole way around now, finally. Whatever it was, it's sorted.
Good. That means a proper formation lap and a clean start. No compromised grid. No lingering caution.
Perfect. So Norris gets exactly what we talked about, a clear run down into turn 1. Right, cars rolling out of the pits now, engines warming. And let's just take a second on what's actually on the line today. Norris starts ahead of his own teammate, Piastri stuck back in 4th. That's the fight that Oh, hang on. Yellow again, this time Sector 11. Just as they're forming up, something's flagged down there. Come on, not now.
On the formation lap, it's usually someone dawdling or a bit of debris. Race control will want it clean before they arm the lights.
And 10's already back to green, so it's moving up the lap with them. Fingers crossed it clears before they line up. Eleven's gone green now too, so the whole lap's clearing behind them. We should be fine to line up. And while we wait, let me say it. Antonelli, third on the grid in only his rookie season. That kid does not look nervous out there. Oh, one more yellow, Sector 15 this time, right as they're settling in. Come on, we're so close. Don't do this to us now.
Same story. Someone getting into position or a scrap of debris. Nothing that stops the start.
And there it is. 15's clear already. Green all the way round. We're good to go. Okay, we're locked and loaded. Norris on pole, Russell right behind him. And here's the one everyone's watching. Teammates split by 3 cars up front. Norris and Piastri, this title's coming down to the wire, and Piastri starts 4th today. He's got work to do. And just before we go, word from race control. 30% chance of rain during this one. 30%, that's enough to keep everyone glancing at the sky, isn't it?
It is. It won't change the tyre they start on, but it changes how patient the strategists are. Nobody wants to commit early.
Lights out and, oh, hang on, yellow flag, sector 15. Something's happened right at the back of the pack. Everyone away cleanly up front by the looks of it, but there's a caution waving already.
That's the same corner that kept flashing before the start. Could be contact off the line. Someone caught out at the slowest point on the lap.
Let's just hope everyone's okay and out of the car. We'll get eyes on it and come straight back to you. While we wait for the all clear on that back marker, let me put a number on the pressure up front. Norris on pole, but this whole day is about him and Piastri. Teammates, one title, and today they start 3 cars apart. Right, hold on. Now we've got double yellow in sector 10. This is spreading. So whatever happened off the line, we've now got a second flag point further round the lap. Drivers backing off there too.
Double yellow means slow right down. Be ready to stop. There's something or someone in a dangerous spot on that stretch.
Still double yellow in sector 10, and it's staying out, so this isn't clearing quickly. We're waiting on the world feed to swing round there. Something's parked in a bad spot. That's the read.
When double yellow lingers like this, marshals aren't happy to send.
Okay, and there it is. Sector 15 is clear. Race control's given us the all clear on that first flag point. So whatever happened off the line, it's sorted. Marshals have done their job quick.
Good. That's the one that had us worried. The slowest corner, right where cars bunch up. Glad it's away.
Still watching sector 10, but this is the news we wanted. Green light on the back of the lap, and we're breathing easier. Right, let's talk about that first corner then, because it's the reason today could get messy fast. Turn 1 at Zandvoort, a full 180 right-hander, the slowest corner on the whole lap. You can see it there, they're crawling through at a... Hang on, now we've got double yellow in sector 5. Just as we cleared sector 10, another one pops up. So it's not settling down, is it? New flag point, fresh caution, drivers backing off again.
This is the same story. Marshals working one spot, then something else needs attention. Keep the speed down until it's all green.
And there, sector 11's clear. Okay, that's one piece of good news back on the board. That's the board looking healthier by the second. Sector 11 green, and we're getting close to the real thing now. And while we wait for the last of these flags to clear, Norris on pole here at Zandvoort, chasing back-to-back home wins that this crowd would absolutely lose. And that's it. Sector 10 is clear. The board is green all the way round now. Every flag point's done. We are good to go racing properly this time.
Finally. No more surprises hiding in the back of the lap. That's what we needed to see.
So it all comes down to the launch. Norris, Russell and that little tap dance into turn 1 we've been dreading all afternoon. Oh, come on, now yellow in sector 15. Just as we called it, all green. Fresh flag, brand new spot. Something's happened right at the back of the lap.
That's a new one, not a leftover. Marshals will need eyes on whatever that is.
And now, double yellow again, sector 10. We cleared it minutes ago, and it's back. Oh man, this is turning into a game of whack-a-mole. One flag down, another one pops up.
That's the concern now. It's not clearing cleanly. Something...
And there it is. Sector 10 is clear. Race control confirming it. The flag's gone. Okay, for real this time. The whole board's green again, and it's staying green.
And it held. That's what we needed. A clean read, no flicker back to yellow.
Oh, you have got to be kidding me. Double yellow, sector 16 now. Another one, brand new spot, right at the end of the lap.
That's not a leftover either. Something's actually going on out there, and marshals need...
And sector 15, clear. That's the one from earlier, gone now. So that's one flag ticked off, but we're still watching 16 like hawks.
Good, that's the older one dealt with. 16's the one holding us up now.
And sector 16, clear. Race control confirms it. The flag is gone. Finally, the whole lap is green again, no yellows anywhere.
That's the last one. Every sector's reading clean now, no reason to hold them any longer.
So now we're really going. Norris... Oh, come on. Double yellow again. Sector 11 now. We were this close. Drivers lifting off through there once more.
And Sector 12 just went clear right next to it. So whatever it is, it's moving up the lap. Marshall.
And now yellow in Sector 10. It's crept forward again. But Sector 14, that one's clear now.
Same pattern as before. Whatever it is, the marshals are chasing it up the lap, clearing behind them as they go.
So we're still not away. Norris sitting on pole, just waiting and waiting. And honestly, my worry is those cold tyres. Every lap behind a yellow is more temperature slipping away. Right, while we sit here waiting, let's talk about that front row. Norris on pole, Russell inches behind him. And you know Zandvoort, track position is everything here. Getting the jump matters more than almost anywhere. Oh, here we go again. Double yellow, Sector 14 and Sector 10 now. 2 spots at once this time. Whatever's out there, it's not sorted yet.
That's the concern. It's not just moving up the lap anymore.
And there it is. Sector 11 is clear. And Sector 5 green too. Finally, things are opening up.
That's the 2 that were flaring up. If they stay clear, we're close to going.
Come on then, Norris still on... Oh, come on. Oh, come on. The Sector 10 clears and now yellow pops up in 11. It's like whack-a-mole out there. Clear one, another lights up.
Same story we've watched all this time. Whatever it is, it just...
And there, Sector 14 clears. That was one of the stubborn ones, wasn't it? The one that kept flaring back up.
It was. If that stays green with the rest, there's nothing left to hold us.
Come on then, Norris still sat on pole, Tyre, and we're green. Normal grip conditions confirmed, we are finally racing. Norris gets a clean launch off pole, Russell tucked right in behind into turn 1.
And that's exactly why he wanted to lead here. Clean air into that hairpin and...
And oh, hang on. Yellow flag, Sector 16. Something's happened back there. We've only just gone green and already there's trouble on the opening lap.
Watch the run out of that fast, right? Cold tyres, first proper push, that's where someone gets caught out.
And 11's clear again at least, so it's contained. Let's just hope everyone's okay in 16. Yellow's still flickering, so let's take a breath while it clears. And can we talk about that yellow ocean in the grandstands? This is Verstappen's home race. Except word is Max is under the weather. Flu-like symptoms apparently, and the Red Bull just isn't quick round here. And there we go. Sector 16 is clear. Whatever happened back there, we're all green again. So no safety car, no debris to worry about. We can breathe and just race.
Good. And that means Norris keeps every bit of the lead he built off the line.
Exactly what he needed. Clean air, no interruptions, and Russell still glued to the back of him. So while it's all quiet up front, let me throw one at you. Gunther Steiner reckons we could see an F1 and MotoGP doubleheader inside 5 years.
I'd watch it in a heartbeat. Same weekend, same venue. The logistics are a nightmare, but the crowds would be enormous.
Oh, imagine that noise, back to back. Bikes screaming, then these things going through turn 1. Speaking of 2 wheels...
And here's a fun one. Toto Wolff joking that Mercedes already has Verstappen for the real hero races.
Oh, cheeky. He means the sim racing, right? The virtual Le Mans stuff Max does.
Exactly. A little dig, all in good humour. But you know those two, nothing's ever fully a joke.
Puff, no. There's always a needle in there somewhere. Anyway, back to what matters. Norris out front, and I've got a feeling... All right, let's set the front row for you. Norris on pole, Russell right alongside. Those two have been trading blows all weekend. And behind them, look who's lurking. Antonelli third, Piastri fourth. That's the whole title fight. Oh, and I spoke too soon. Safety car lights are on. We've got a safety car after all. Something's happened and race control isn't taking any chances. The board's gone yellow all the way around. So everything we just said about clean air for Norris, rip it up.
And this is the worst kind of timing for him. That lead he built off the line just got wiped clean. The whole field bunches right back up behind him.
And here's a thought before we even get going. Verstappen's had a rough one this week, fighting off something flu-like at his home race. Zandvoort, of all places. The one weekend the whole country turns orange, and he's under the weather.
And the car isn't helping. Zandvoort's really shown up Red Bull's weaknesses this year. That's not just the illness talking.
So the home fans might not get the fairy tale, but hey, they've got a... So let's talk about that first corner, because it's a real head-scratcher here. Turn 1 at Zandvoort. A full hairpin doubles back on itself. The board says it's the slowest corner on the whole lap, taken at a crawl.
And that's exactly why it's so hard to pass into. You brake early, you get on the power late, so there's just no room to line someone up on the exit.
So even off the restart, nobody's diving up the inside there. So while we wait for this safety car to peel in, let's talk title, because the top 4 on this grid is the title fight. Norris on pole, Piastri stuck back in 4th. Every point today matters between those two.
And that's why the safety car stings for Norris. He needed the clean gap to Russell. Now it's all reset and Piastri's got a free run at the pack behind.
Oh, and did you catch what Wolf said this week? Now here's the picture behind the leaders while we wait. Antonelli in 3rd, and that's a big grid slot for the youngster on a day like this. He's got Piastri right behind him in 4th, and Hamilton and Leclerc lined up in 5th and 6th. That's a spicy little group.
And watch that Ferrari pair. Hamilton ahead of Leclerc on the grid. The internal one there is worth keeping half an eye on all afternoon.
Now this banked circuit, Zandvoort loves to punish a lockup. One little wobble and the barriers are right there. And you know what's on my mind? Piastri in 4th. He qualified behind Antonelli, and that could cost him real points against Norris today.
It could. But watch the first stint. If he can't pass on track here, the team might roll the dice early on an undercut to jump the youngster.
Oh, that's the play, isn't it? You can't force it into that. And speaking of Zandvoort exposing things, the word is Verstappen's not even feeling right today, some flu-like bug hanging over him. Home race, packed grandstands, the Orange Army out in force. And he's under the weather. Rough timing.
And the car isn't helping him hide it. Red Bull have looked genuinely off the pace here all weekend. This track's shown up some real problems for them.
So the fans get their hero, but not the machine to match. Let's zoom in on turn 1 for a second, because it's the slowest corner on the whole lap. A proper hairpin, right at about 3% of top speed. You come screaming down, then have to haul it almost a walking pace and swing it round 180 degrees. Brutal.
And that's exactly why you barely see a clean pass there. You brake so late and so hard that if you're offline...
Right, let's set the front row, because this is a good one. Norris on pole, and he only just pipped Russell to it. Tiniest of margins between them in qualifying, and now they're side by side into that long run down to turn 1. Oh, I love a fight like this.
And Russell's start matters more than the pole here. If he gets the launch, the inside line into turn 1 is his. And we just said how hard...
Now let's talk about the man just behind them. Piastri lining up 4th, and this championship is tight. Every point between him and Norris matters today, and starting behind Antonelli makes his job so much harder.
And that's the pressure of it. Norris is on pole, so if Piastri gets stuck early, the gap in the standings only grows.
Oh, that's the knife edge, isn't it? Your title rival's already at the front, and you've got a teenager to clear first. Rough spot. Now here's a bit of intrigue for you. Wolf cracking jokes that Mercedes have already got Verstappen for the, quote, real hero races. Cheeky, isn't it? A little wink toward 2026 with the man himself under the weather today.
And apparently this year's contact talks were handled very...
Right, this is it. Lights are about to go on. Standing start, the grid is set, engines singing. Everyone quiet now. Norris on pole, Russell right alongside, and that long run to turn 1 is waiting for them.
Watch the clutch bite off the line. Get that even slightly wrong and the whole row behind is through.
Here we go. Hold your breath, folks. And spare a thought for Verstappen today, the home hero but not himself this weekend. Flu-like illness all week, and Zandvoort of all places has been showing up Red Bull's weaknesses. Rough day for the Orange Army.
And it's not just the illness. This track punishes a car that won't rotate through the slow stuff, and that's exactly where they've struggled.
So the roar in the grandstands might be louder than the result, sadly. Still, never write him. Let's talk about that first corner because it matters here more than almost anywhere. Turn 1 at Zandvoort, a full 180 right-hander, and the board has it as the slowest corner on the whole lap. They're crawling through it.
And that's exactly why it's so hard to pass there. It's so tight. There's really only one line through. So the defender just sits on the inside and the corner does the rest.
Right, so if you don't get the run before it, you're not. Now here's something to chew on before we go green. This could be a big one for the title fight. Norris with pole in his pocket, Russell right there to pounce. Two men who both need the win, not the podium.
And the tyre picture is clean today. Dry, track at 30 degrees. No excuses either way. It's just who nails the start and manages the rears.
You mentioned that sprint, that's still gnawing at Norris a little, isn't it? He led it, then Leclerc came through for second.
It tells you the McLaren's quick over one lap, but the Ferrari looks after its tyres. Watch that in the long runs today.
Ooh, so Leclerc could be the quiet danger here, starting further back but with rubber to spare late on. That's my little wild card then. Keep an eye on the red car climbing while the front... Let's talk grid layout for a second because the front two rows here tell a story. Norris on pole, Russell right alongside, then the chasers itching to pounce if those two so much as look at each other into turn 1.
And that's where the dirty side really bites. Off the racing line.
And we are green at Zandvoort. They pour down toward that long run to turn 1. Oh, and straight away, Hamilton. He's got Piastri, snatches 5th on the drag down. Remember we said you had to be alongside before that corner. There it is, he timed it perfectly. And it's chaos on this opening lap. Verstappen bulldozes his way up to 7th. He came from 8th and just muscled it through. Vintage Max on the launch. But wait, Piastri fires right back at Hamilton, retakes 5th. Oh man, these two are trading it lap by lap. Hamilton had him a moment ago, now Piastri's got the place back.
And that battle's tight. The board's got Tsunoda and Lindblad at 500ths for 10th, and Tsunoda's just made it stick.
There it is, Tsunoda up to 10th, Gasly grabbing 9th too, and back it goes. Lindblad reclaims 10th. He wasn't done. He was ahead, then behind, now ahead again. This fight for 10th just won't settle.
That's the thing at Zandvoort. Turn 1 is so slow you can dive in, but the exit's everything. Whoever gets the run out of there holds it down the next straight.
Right, and that's why nobody can shake anybody today. Last lap coming up. Hold on. Last lap at Zandvoort, and the racing's still on. Nobody's settling for what they've got. Look down at 18th, Stroll and Behrman 300ths apart and closing. The board's got that fight at 94.
That 94 means it's about as close as a fight gets. One little slip and Behrman's through.
And it's not the only one. Albon reeling in Ocon for 15th, 4/10ths and shrinking. Everywhere you look, someone's got a run. This whole field is nose to tail into that final lap. Hang on, double yellow. Sector 18, we've got a problem on track. Something's happened right where we were just looking. Everyone off the throttle now.
Double yellow means slow right down, no overtaking through there. Whoever was fighting in that sector has to back out of it.
But away from the yellows, Lawson snuck up to 7th. He got past before the flags. And Gasly to 8th, Lindblad back to 9th, Colapinto climbing to 10th. It's chaos out there.
And now more yellows, 16 and 17 too.
And there it is. Red flag. The session's been suspended on the very last lap. Lindblad grabbed 8th right before it all stopped. But now everything freezes.
Red flag on the final lap is brutal. They'll count back to the last full lap, everyone completed cleanly. That's what sets the result.
And race control confirming it again. Double yellow still out in Sector 18. That's where it all fell apart. They're keeping the caution up while they clear whatever's sitting out there.
Right, and that tells you the marshals are still working. They won't lift a thing until that sector's completely safe.
So no chance of a restart, no green flag rush. The car's just filing round under those flags. An incredible last lap frozen in time. Whatever was showing on that final clean lap, that's your result. You know who I keep coming back to? Lawson snuck up to 7th right before the flags flew. That's the kind of timing you can't teach. Read it perfectly.
He committed early, that's the difference. The ones who hesitated a heartbeat got frozen a place back. He didn't hesitate. One thing worth flagging for next time. Antonelli holding second under all that pressure. Kid's got ice in his veins.
He really does. Russell breathing down his neck the whole way, and he never flinched. That's a proper marker to put down at his age. You know who barely got a mention today? Leclerc quietly holding 4th.
And that's the interesting one. He's right behind Russell, but Piastri was tucked in behind him the whole way. That's the fight that never quite happened.
Okay, big update just in. Race control now saying track clear. That's a relief. Whatever was sitting out there, the marshals have shifted it.
Good news for whoever was involved, first and foremost. Track clear usually means no one needed help getting out.
And now another one. Yellow flag in Sector 14 this time. So the caution's just walking its way around the lap as the marshals do their sweep.
Exactly that. Sector by sector, they clear it and hand it on. Nothing to worry about. Standard procedure winding down.
Good, because for a second there I thought we had something new brewing. And there it is, Sector 14 now showing clear too. So the sweep's almost done. One by one, they're flicking those cautions back to green.
Which tells you the marshals are nearly all back behind the barrier. Final tidy up.
Last lap of 3, and honestly the result's been locked for a while. Antonelli holds 2nd, Russell 3rd, and here we go again. Yellow now in Sector 10. The caution's still working its way round. So it's crept forward from 14 to 10, marshals just moving along the lap, tidying as they go.
Same story. They clear one stretch, light up the next. It's the sweep finishing itself off.
And it changes nothing for us. The orders, and there, Sector 10's gone green as well. The last of the yellows clearing out. So the whole lap's basically tidied up now. Marshall's home, barriers clean.
That's the sweep finished. Nothing left out there for them to clear.
Which means we run this final lap out clean. Antonelli second, Russell third, and Leclerc still hanging on to fourth from Piastri. So that's the checkered flag at Zandvoort. Let's talk about the one who really impressed me today. Antonelli, second place. For a young lad holding that spot lap after lap without a wobble, that's mature driving.
That's the read for me too. No mistakes, no drama, just kept the car in the right window all afternoon. That's how you build a career.
Hang on, double yellow now in sector 7. Somebody stopped or slowing right down out there. Double waved, that's the serious one. That means slow down, be ready to stop.
On the last lap with the result already frozen, whoever it is, they've just parked it or lost something.
Right, let's keep an eye on it, but everyone ahead is accounted for, so this is... And now it's spread. Double yellow in 16 and 17 as well. This has grown. So it's not just one stopped car. Something's happening across the back end of the lap.
That's a stricken car losing bits or oil going down. When it jumps sectors like that, it's usually debris trailing behind a limping car.
Hope the driver's okay, first and foremost. On the last lap, that's a... And there we go. Sector 7's clear again. That's the flag showing green there. Whatever was out there, it's been sorted. The marshals have done their job quick.
Good. And with the result already locked, that's the only thing that mattered.
Okay, we've got a note from race control now. Turn 14, car 41, that's Lynn. Yellow flag infringement, so they reckon he didn't back off enough through that double yellow.
That's the one we just watched, spread across the back of the lap. If he lifted late, the stewards will want to look.
Right, so it's noted, not decided yet, but on the final lap with the flags out for a stricken car, you have to slow, no arguments. So the flag's out, it's done. And for me, driver of the day has to be Antonelli. Second place, and he never once looked flustered, kept Russell behind him the whole way.
For me, the quiet story is further back. Alonso reeling in Albon for 14th. That gap down to 1.4 and still shrinking. That fight had life in it right to the end.
You mentioned that Alonso fight, 1.4 and closing, the board had it at 59. That's a proper scrap for 14th.
And look at Stroll on Bortoleto too. 1.14 and shrinking. 57 on the board. Two little battles nobody's watching, both alive at the flag.
That's the thing, isn't it? The podium was settled early, but the midfield never stopped scrapping right to the last corner. Let's give Leclerc a mention too, holding fourth ahead of Piastri all afternoon.
That one's interesting for the title picture. Piastri stuck in 5th, unable to find a way past. Those are points slipping away in a fight where everyone counts.
And Hamilton right on his tail in 6th, never quite close enough to try anything into turn 1.
Which is the story of this place. That first corner's the slowest on the lap, and you just can't get a run at it. Brake too early and you're a sitting duck too late and you're in the gravel. One thing I keep coming back to, that turn 1 problem hurt Piastri all day. He had the pace to be 4th, but you just can't launch a move there.
And in a title fight, 5th instead of 4th is exactly the kind of afternoon that stings later. On to the next one though, plenty to chew on before then. Right, race control's given us the resumption order confirmed now. That's the official lineup locked in. Verstappen leading it out at home, then Antonelli, Russell, Leclerc, Piastri, Hamilton behind.
And that lines up exactly with what we've been saying. The front stayed frozen after that first corner. Nobody could get the run they needed.
Which brings us right back to Zandvoort's little cruelty, doesn't it? Turn 2, that slowest corner on the whole lap.
That's the one. A full 180 right-hander, down to almost nothing, and there's just no room to build a move into it. Get too close and the toe disappears anyway. You know who I feel for? Lawson. Quietly bringing home 7th. Nobody's talking about him, but that's a solid haul on a day when nothing moved up front.
Good shout, he kept his nose clean all afternoon and banked the points. That's the job done. Oh, hold on, word coming through from race control now. Turn 14 incident involving Ocon, car 31, and it's been noted, a yellow flag infringement.
That's not contact then, it's a procedural one. Looks like he didn't lift enough under the yellows.
Right, so nothing dramatic on track. More one for the stewards to sort out after.
Exactly. If they act on it, that's likely a time penalty. And on this final lap, Ocon can't do a thing about it now.
And here we go again. Another one flagged at turn 14. Car 43 Colapinto this time noted for a yellow flag infringement. Same corner, same problem. In these conditions, the yellows are everywhere and the boards are hard to read.
That's the tell, isn't it? 2 drivers caught at the exact same spot means the flags were out and hard to judge in the rain. Nobody's trying to gain anything there, they just haven't lifted enough.
So another one for the stewards after the flag. On the last lap, there's nothing he can do about it now either. So it's done at Zandvoort. Let's give a moment to those midfield scraps that never quite landed. Albon and Alonso closing the whole way, 1.4 apart at the flag. The board had that one at 59. So close, never done.
And that's the story.
And there we go. The flags are coming in. Sector 18 clear, 16 clear, 17 clear. So all those yellows we were worried about at turn 14, they're gone now. Track's green again.
Which just tidies things up for the record. The incidents are already noted. Clearing the sectors doesn't undo any of that.
Right, so the stewards still have their homework, but on track it's all wrapped up. Oh, and here's the verdict on Ocon. Turn 14 incident reviewed and it's no further investigation. So he keeps his result, no penalty coming his way after all.
Which makes sense with what we said. Nobody was gaining anything there. The steward saw the same thing and let it go.
Good news for car 31 then. He can breathe easy. Oh, hang on, double yellow now. Sector 11. That's a new one, and double waved means something's actually stopped or off out there.
Double yellow is more serious than a single. That's a car or debris right on the racing line, not just a car nudge.
Okay, Sector 11's clear again, but now it's shifted. Yellow in Sector 10. And there it goes to double yellow in 10, so whatever it is, it's moved on us, or there's a second thing.
More likely the same incident, and the marshals are still working it.
And clear, Sector 10 is green again. Whatever it was, it's sorted. So the whole lap's clean now as they come to the flag. No more yellows to worry about.
Good timing too. Nobody wants to be lifting through the final sector of the last lap.
Exactly, let 'em run it home now. This one's nearly done. Oh, come on. Another one. Double yellow now in Sector 6. I thought we were clean. Last lap and it's flared up again.
Same story as before. The marshals are still moving something. It just keeps following where the trouble is.
So heads up through 6, everybody. Lift and be ready. Okay, and now word from race control. We're set to resume at 15:33. So all those flags, all that drama in Sector 6, they're getting on top of it and we'll go again.
That gives the marshals a clean window to clear whatever's out there properly. Better a short pause than sending them past debris flat out.
Exactly, final lap on hold, but we will get a finish. Hang tight, everyone. This isn't over yet. So there it is, the flag's out at Zandvoort, and it's Antonelli home in second, Russell third. But you know who I want to talk about. Leclerc in fourth, holding off Piastri all afternoon.
That was the quiet job of the day. Piastri was on his gearbox and never got the run into turn 1 to make it stick.
And there it is. Sector 6 is clear now too. Whatever was out there, it's gone. So the whole circuit's green, the flag's already flown, and this Dutch Grand Prix is done and dusted.
Neat and tidy in the end. The marshals did their job. Nobody had to gamble through debris on that last lap.
Oh, hold on. The race is done, but the stewards aren't. Word just in from race control. They're looking at car 41, Lynn, for a yellow flag infringement back at turn 14.
That's exactly the Sector 6 trouble we kept flagging. If he didn't lift enough through the yellows, that's a penalty coming.
So the flag's flown, but the result might not be final just yet. We wait on the stewards. You know who slipped under the radar today? Hamilton in 6th, quietly there all afternoon.
He never had the pace to trouble Piastri ahead, but he kept Lawson at arm's length the whole way. Solid, unspectacular.
That's Zandvoort for you. Hard to pass here, so where you start is basically where you finish. While we wait on those stewards, let me point you down the order. Albon and Alonso, scrapping over 14th right to the flag. The board had them at 59, 1.4 apart and closing. That's a proper fight nobody was watching.
That's where the real racing was late on. The front locked in early, so all the movement came from the midfield trains behind. One thing worth watching over the winter, honestly. Antonelli in second at Zandvoort, that's a real marker for where he's at.
Right, for a kid still learning these tracks, second here of all places, that's not nothing.
Zandvoort punishes mistakes more than most. You don't fluke a podium here.
Let's talk about that Alonso and Albon fight for a second, because it actually got resolved. The board had them at 59, 1-4 and closing. And closing means one of them's got tyre life, the other doesn't.
That's the read, yeah. The car behind found something in the last few laps, probably managed his...
Wait, hold everything. Safety car lights are on. On the very last lap. That's late, but if there's a car stopped out there, they've got to send it.
With the flag basically flown, it changes nothing for the order. It just neutralises anyone still fighting to the line.
Right, so Albon and Alonso, that scrap we've been watching, it's frozen. No last dive into turn 1 now. And there it is. The stewards have named it. Turn 14, car 43, Franco Colapinto. Under investigation for a yellow flag infringement, so that's what triggered all this.
Right. Someone didn't lift enough where the incident was, and the stewards want a proper look.
So the safety car makes sense now. There was a car in trouble at 14, and Colapinto's under the microscope for how he went through it. You know who I want to talk about? Antonelli, second at Zandvoort in his rookie year. That's my driver of the day, no question. He never put a wheel wrong all afternoon.
And here's the part people miss. He did it with zero fuss on the radio. No panic, no scruffy laps. That's the sign that sticks with me.
Let's give Russell his due as well. Third from where he started. That's a clean, solid afternoon for Mercedes.
2 cars in the top 3, and one of them a rookie. That's a very good day for that garage.
And hey, if you're enjoying the ride with us, hit subscribe and drop a like. It genuinely helps us keep doing this. Leclerc quietly holding 4th too, kept Piastri behind all the way home. Let's talk Piastri for a second. fifth today, stuck behind Leclerc the whole way. He never quite had the pace to make a real go of it, did he?
No, and that's the one that matters. Every point Piastri leaves on the table here, that's the door creeping open in the championship.
You know who I haven't mentioned? Hamilton, sixth today, just ahead of Lawson. Quiet afternoon for him, but a solid haul of points into the bank.
And that's the thing. On a track this hard to pass, sixth was probably the ceiling from where he ran all day. No shame in taking it.
Right, last lap now. 3 laps flat out, and we're already counting it down. Up front, it's settled, but look further back. Albon chasing Alonso for 14th, 1.4 and closing. The board's got that one at 59 out of 100. He's coming, he's coming.
And the trouble is where he'll try it. Into turn 1, there's just nowhere to go.
Slowest corner on the whole lap. Now wait, I've just got something strange on Norris here. He boxed on lap 2 and the board's showing a stop of 26 minutes and 11 seconds. 26 minutes!
That's not a pit stop. That's a retirement in all but name. Whatever happened, his race ended in that garage.
Oh, hang on, this isn't just Norris. Look at the board. Antonelli, Russell, Leclerc, Piastri, all of them showing 26-minute stops on lap 2.
That's not 4 separate problems. That's a red.
And there it is again. Hamilton, Lawson, Lindblad all showing those 26-minute stops on lap 2.
Same stoppage, same clock, every one of them frozen for the same stretch. It's just the whole grid caught in it.
So ignore those numbers, folks. That's the stoppage, not a real stop. The racing you're watching now is the racing that counts. And it's Albon still glued to Alonso for 14th. 1.4, last lap, everything on the line into that and Colapinto's on the board now too. 26 minutes, 18. Same story, don't panic. That's the stoppage clock, not a real stop.
Right, he was frozen with everyone else. Nothing to read into it.
So eyes back on the front. Final lap, Antonelli, and a few more of those on the board. Tsunoda, Hülkenberg, Ocon, all showing 26-minute stops. Same thing, don't read anything into it. That's the stoppage clock again.
Right, and it confirms it. That was a standing start.
And yep, Alonso, Behrman, Bortoleto all pop up now with those same 26-minute stops. Same clock, folks. Don't read a thing into it. That's the stoppage, not a real stop.
Every last car on the grid caught in that window. It just confirms the whole field went nowhere for the same stretch.
Right, so eyes forward and it is raining out there. Low grip, everyone tiptoeing into that slow turn 1. Antonelli still second, Russell all over him. Bring it home. Well, that's the flag, and what a slippery little finish that was in the rain. For me, the one who caught the eye was Antonelli. Holding second with Russell right on his gearbox the whole way, in these conditions, that takes nerve.
And the board never lied. That battle sat at 51.
And here we go again. Bottas and Perez popping up with those same 26-minute stops. 26.52, 26.58. Don't read a thing into it, folks. That's the stoppage clock, same as all the others.
Right, just the last couple caught in that same freeze. Nothing changed for either of them.
Exactly, so the picture we called at the flag still stands. Antonelli holding second in the wet, and that was the finish that mattered. Right, hang on. Yellow flags waving in Sector 13. Something's happened out there, and remember, it's still soaking wet. Let's just hope everyone's okay first.
In these conditions, a yellow in that sector usually means someone's tiptoed off at the exit. Grip's almost gone out there.
Let's get a look and make sure whoever it is climbs out fine before we say another word. So let's shift down the order for a second. That Lawson and Lindblad's scrap for 7th caught my eye. The board had them at 35 and closing at 1.8 seconds. Not quite there, but Lawson was reeling him in.
35 means they were never really side by side. Just a chase that ran out of laps. Another couple of tours and maybe.
Okay, hold on. Word from race control. We've got an extra formation lap coming. So one more lap around before the real business begins. Everyone rolling off again.
That usually means they want the field bunched properly, or there's something to clear on track before.
Right, good news in. Race controls called it clear in Sector 13. Whatever tiptoed off out there is dealt with, and that's the thing we wanted to hear first. Everyone's fine.
And crucially, no yellows hanging over that last sector now. The final lap runs clean.
And here we go on the final lap. The midfield's coming alive. Gasly's got 8th, right there past his rival. Colapinto follows him through into 9th. They're going for it all at once. And Hulkenberg, oh, he's the mover of the lap. And there's another one. Tsunoda snatches 10th, up from 11th. On the last lap, in the rain, into that hairpin. That takes some nerve, honestly.
And that's the risk on wet tyres into turn 1. Brake a metre too late there, and you're just a passenger into the gravel.
Right on the edge. All of them. My heart, honestly. Let's hope everyone keeps it out of the fences to the flag. And that's the flag. Antonelli holds on to 2nd, Russell right behind him in 3rd. But my driver of the day, Hulkenberg, 12th to 10th on that last lap in the wet.
For me, it's the recovery over the whole run. He was stuck in that midfield scrap for ages and never lost his head into turn 1. That's where he made the difference.
You know what I keep coming back to? Antonelli, 2nd place and holding off Norris and Piastri right behind him. For a young lad keeping that head cool on a drying track, that's the sign of something special.
And that's the bit people underrate. He didn't just have the pace, he managed.
Oh, hold on. One more for the highlight reel. Lindblad from 20th to 8th. That's a dozen places on the day. Where did that come from?
That's a proper drive through the field. Wet start, kept it clean, and picked them off one by one. Nothing flashy, just relentless.
12 positions and finishing 8th on a day like this, for a debut sort of afternoon, that's something to remember. And even after the flag, it's not done. Gasly's shuffled up to 8th. And there's Hülkenberg again, 9th now. That man just does not stop moving forward, does he?
That's the same relentless run we've been on about all afternoon. He just keeps...
And they're still sorting it out behind the line. Colapinto grabs 10th, up from 11th. Oh man, the traffic behind the leaders never stops today.
And look back at Lindblad's stop. 12.3 seconds in the pits. On a normal day, that ruins your race. Today, he still climbed the whole field.
12 seconds and still 8th. Pfft, that tells you everything about the run he had. Look at this scrap for 10th still going. Colapinto and Tsunoda, the board's got it at 0.19 and closing. 80 out of 100 on the excitement meter, and you can see why.
And that's the trap of this place. They're nose to tail, but into turn one there's just nowhere to...
Right, last lap coming up. And word just in from race control. Hülkenberg's lost a lap time, 1:23.6, deleted for track limits at turn 3.
Lap 5, turn 3. Doesn't touch his position, but it wipes out what would have been a quick one.
Ah, shame. The man's been on a charge all day, and now the stewards nibble a bit off the top. Still 9th though, still climbing. And another one gone. Lindblad this time, 1:29.7, deleted for track limits at turn 3. Lap 6, same corner as Hülkenberg. Turn 3 is catching everyone out in this rain.
That's the story of the wet. You carry a touch too much and the car just runs wide. No grip to hold the line.
Last lap now, everybody hold on. And please, just keep it on the black stuff out there. Oh no, hold on, this one hurts. Drive-through penalty for Colapinto. Yellow flag infringement, car 43. After that fight for 10th, we just watched him win. Gutting.
That's the rule though. You have to lift under yellows. No exceptions. If he didn't, this is automatic.
And on the last lap of all laps, whatever he does now, that penalty follows him. All that work to grab 10th and it slips straight through his fingers. Oh man. And that's the flag. Kimi Antonelli takes it at Zandvoort, Norris 2nd, Piastri 3rd. But you know who I keep coming back to. Colapinto. That drive-through on the final lap, right after he'd earned 10th fair and square.
Painful. But the yellow flag rule is the yellow flag rule. He'll be quicker for it next time. The pace was clearly there.
That's the thing, isn't it? The speed was real. It's just the last lap gave him nowhere to make it back. You know what I loved about that Antonelli win? Barely put a wheel wrong all afternoon in those tricky conditions. Cool as you like.
That's the read of the day for me. In a wet to dry race, the one who makes no mistakes wins. and he didn't give the stewards a single reason to look his way.
No deleted times, no yellow flag drama. Just clean, quick, done. Kid's got ice in his veins. You know who I want to talk about? That Russell and Leclerc scrap for fourth. Half a second apart at the flag, and it never quite came together for Charles.
Watch the tyres though. Leclerc was quicker per lap, but on the softs. That gap holding steady tells you he just ran out of room to use it.
One I haven't mentioned yet, Hamilton 6th, right on Leclerc's gearbox at the end. Two Ferraris 5th and 6th, but you can feel they wanted more out of today.
They had the pace in the dry, just nowhere to deploy it. Around here, track position is everything. Get stuck and you stay stuck.
You know the one battle we skipped, Ocon and Bortolito, way back for 12th? Nose to tail the whole way, and the board had it at 61 out of 100. Proper little scrap for nothing but pride.
And no undercut on either. The tyres were barely giving up anything. Bortolito was the quicker of the two, but Ocon just parked it in front and stayed there.
Track position again, right? Same story as the Ferraris. Get ahead here and good luck to whoever's behind.
One more thing before we go. Look at that Perez and Lindblad fight for 18th. The board's got it at 64 and it's closing.
Half a second and shrinking, right at the back. Why's Perez reeling him in?
Tyres. Lindblad's mediums are dropping off nearly half a second a lap faster. Perez on the hards is just eating into him lap after lap.
So even down in 18th, the strategy story's the same as the whole day. Whoever managed the rubber came out ahead. Oh, hang on. Bortolito's in the pits. And that's not a quick one. 18 seconds on the final lap. What on earth are they doing?
That's not a normal stop. Something went wrong in the box. You don't lose 18 seconds on purpose.
That's his race gone. And now the stewards are on it. Car 87 and car 5, both under investigation. Leaving the pit exit on a red light. That's the last thing Bortolito needed after that nightmare stop.
That's a serious one. The pit exit red is there for safety. You go on that, it's a penalty coming, no question.
So an 18-second stop and now a post-race investigation on top. Oh man, what a way to end the day.
Both cars, same moment, 15:33 on the dot. Something went badly wrong at that pit exit.
And if you're enjoying the ride with us, do hit subscribe and drop a like. It genuinely helps us keep doing this. We'll wait on the stewards, but that result could still shuffle once they've had a look. Last lap now, and up front it's Antonelli holding Norris off. The kids led this whole way. And you know there was talk this weekend that Zandvoort's been a bit of a wake-up call for him. If he brings this home. Some answer that is.
He's had it under control though. Track position again, same thing we've said all afternoon. Get in front here and it's nearly impossible to get by.
Right, and turn 28 tells you why. Slowest corner on the lap, taken at barely a third of top speed.
Exactly. So slow there's no run onto the next straight to make a move stick. You just sit in line and wait.
And there's a ruling. Drive-through penalty for car 41 Lindblad. Yellow flag infringement. So he didn't back off enough when it mattered.
That's the right call. Under yellows you lift, no exceptions. It's a safety thing, not a suggestion.
And another one. Car 43 Colapinto drive-through served. Same offence, yellow flag infringement. So that's 2 of them now getting done for lifting late under yellows.
Same message from the stewards twice over. When the flags are out, you slow down. They're not letting either one slide.
Fair enough. Rough end to the afternoon for a few of them back there. So there it is. Kimi Antonelli, wire to wire, wins the Dutch Grand Prix. What a day for the kid. But you know who I keep coming back to? That Russell and Leclerc fight for 4th.
15 laps stuck at half a second apart, and neither one blinked. The board had it at 60 out of 100 all afternoon.
And Leclerc on the softs couldn't make it stick, right?
No, because the tyres were barely going off. A 10th between them all stint. No undercut, no drop-off, nothing to work with. He just sat there.
You know who I want to talk about? Alonso, way back in that scrap for 12th. He was chipping away at Ocon all afternoon, a 10th and a bit a lap quicker, and by the flag he'd closed it to under 3/10.
That's the pace red right there. Ocon's tyres were fading about a 10th and a half a lap faster. Give it 2 more laps and Alonso has him.
You know what impressed me most today? Antonelli. Wire to wire, never put a wheel wrong. For a kid that age, that's real composure.
And no drama on the tyres, no lockups under pressure. That's the driver of the day for me. Easy.
Oh, and hang on. Stroll came in on lap 15, right at the death. 17.6 seconds standing still. That's a slow one, isn't it?
Well over the 14.8 we've been seeing all day. Something held him up in the box.
Yeah, with 1 lap left, there's no coming back from that. Just getting it over the line now. You know what nags at me? That one-stop call. Our read had it 17 seconds better than stopping twice.
Early days on the numbers. But yeah, the wear was so low today that track position beat fresh rubber every time. Whoever committed to one stop got it right.
And that's exactly why Leclerc couldn't do anything on those softs. No drop-off, nowhere to attack. Oh, and look at this. Ocon peeled in on lap 16. 18.6 seconds standing still. That's about as slow as they come today. Right at the death, too.
And it hands Alonso 12th for free. Remember we said give it 2 laps and he had him, didn't even need them.
Exactly. All that chipping away and then Ocon just gives it up in the pit lane. Cruel game sometimes. Two laps to go and look down the order. Russell and Leclerc still glued together for 4th. The board's got that battle at 56 out of 100, 7/10 apart, and it just won't close.
And it won't. Leclerc's actually the quick.
Oh, hang on, Leclerc's done it. He's through on Russell for 4th. Right when we said he needed a mistake, there it was. Down into the corner, and he's got him.
And that opens the door behind. Hamilton pounces on Russell too. 2 spots gone in.
And it keeps going. Lawson's through into 6th. Gasly right behind him, picks up 7th. Oh man, once Russell wobbled, it just fell apart back there. The whole train shuffled past. And there's the confirmation. Russell dives into the pit lane. And there's another one. Hülkenberg's through on Russell for 8th. Oh, poor Russell. He pits, comes out cold, and now he's just a sitting duck out there.
That's exactly it. Fresh tyres, but no temperature in them yet. Hülkenberg didn't even have to fight for it.
From 4th to getting picked off one by one. What a way to end the day for him. And he's got it straight back. Russell fights past Hülkenberg for 8th. Those cold tyres are finally lighting up. 1 lap out of the pits and he's already swinging back.
There it is. Give the fresh rubber a lap to switch on.
And it's not done up front. Leclerc's back through into 3rd. He's picked off another one on the last lap. 3rd place is his. And Hamilton follows him again, up to 4th, right on his tail.
Same 1-2 we saw earlier. Where Leclerc goes, Hamilton just tucks in and takes the scraps.
Oh man, these 2 Ferraris are carving through, and Lawson's at it too, up into 5th on the final lap. Everyone's fighting to the flag in these conditions. It's chaos out there, and I love it.
And it's the rain doing it. Nobody's got grip, so every corner is a chance.
Russell keeps climbing too, into 7th now. Those fresh tyres are properly awake. Oh, and Piastri's boxed. 20.2 seconds standing still on lap 18. That's the end of his day right there.
On the last lap in the wet. That's damage control. Something wasn't right with that car.
So he tumbles to 6th after all that. Antonelli holds the lead as they come to the line. What a finish in the rain. So when the dust settles, that's Kimi Antonelli winning the Dutch Grand Prix. What a day for the youngster. But honestly, my driver of the day is Russell. He clawed his way from the back of that group on those fresh tyres.
For me, it's the timing of his stop. Everyone gambled on the same rubber, but he got his lap of warm-up right when it mattered.
Last lap and there's still a scrap at the back. Perez all over Colapinto for 17th, half a second and closing.
And look at the pace board. Perez is the harder tyre, but he's plus 0.03 a lap. Colapinto's mediums are dropping off nearly 0.2 faster.
Oh, and here comes a note from race control. Lawson's had a lap time deleted. 199 gone. Track limits at turn 3 on lap 20.
In the wet, that's easy done. You run wide chasing grip and the car just washes out to the white line.
Doesn't change his 5th place though. It was just a lap time. Phew. Last lap now. Antonelli's got it in hand up front. Norris just can't find a way through. And behind them, Leclerc's holding 3rd from Hamilton. Ferrari 1-3 in the wet. Who saw that coming?
Funny thing is, they've been quick here all week.
Oh, hold on. Hamilton's on the move. He's got Leclerc for 3rd into turn 1. And he's not done. He's flying now. Passed into the lead. Hamilton takes it. Where did that come from? Those fronts finally switched on at the death. And it's all kicking off behind them now. Russell's got Piastri for 4th. And Piastri fires straight back past Leclerc for 5th. The order's completely reshuffling on the last lap.
And there's your answer. Leclerc pitted at the end of lap.
And here comes Alonso too. Up into 8th, passed for another one. Everyone's throwing everything at it on this last lap. It's chaos back there.
This is what a final lap should look like. Nobody saving anything now, tyres be damned.
Oh man, I love it. Alonso just refusing to settle for 9th. And Colapinto's just pitted too. 19.4 seconds, right at the death.
Same story as Leclerc. There's nothing to gain boxing on the last lap. Our Reed had staying out worth the whole 18 seconds.
Yeah, that one's just cost him track position for nothing. Ouch! But up front, Hamilton's got the lead and we're into the final corners. Can he hold it? And Antonelli's not letting Hamilton breathe. Fastest lap of the whole race, 1:15.8. He's throwing everything at it, hunting down that lead in the closing corners.
That's the young one showing his teeth. Fresh confidence in those tyres, and he's finding...
And would you believe it? Leclerc, all the way back in 6th, just went and grabbed the fastest lap, 1:15.8.
Of course he did. Fresh tyres from that late stop, no traffic, nothing to lose, free rein to just send it.
And Lawson pounces, up into 8th, past Alonso right at the death. He'd been all over that battle. Look, the board had them at 88 and closing. There it goes.
That's the one we called. Once you're within a quarter of a second here, you take it or you never will.
But back to the front. Hamilton and Antonelli, the last corners. Hold your breath. And there it is. Hamilton takes the win at Zandvoort in the rain, holding off Antonelli to the line. What a way to finish. But you know who I keep coming back to? The kid, Antonelli.
He gave Hamilton nothing all lap. On a treacherous track, that late confidence was the real story of the day for me.
You know what I love? Leclerc and Albon, right to the flag. The board had them at 93 and closing for 6th. That's a fight nobody was even watching, and it went down to a quarter of a second.
That's the one to re-watch. Fresh tyres on Leclerc.
Oh, and even as we're catching our breath, Leclerc's done it. Up into 5th, past Hamilton. He was glued to the back of him. The board had that fight at 70, dead level, and Leclerc's found a way through in the rain.
Those fresh tyres again.
Wait, hang on. The timing screen's just caught up with something. Hamilton pitted on lap 25. 17.8 seconds in the box, late in the race, in the wet.
That's why Leclerc had the fresher rubber down the stretch. Hamilton had already given some of his up to that stop.
Oh, that explains it. No wonder Leclerc came sailing past. Hamilton was on the older side of that trade. Down the field, still plenty to settle. Lindblad's right on the back of Gasly for 11th. The board's got them at 67 and closing, and look, that gap's under a third of a second now.
And Lindblad's on mediums, 21 laps in, still lapping quicker than Gasly on the hards. That undercut window is wide open. Fresh rubber's worth nearly half a second a lap out here.
So one clean run through the last corner and he's got him. In the wet, mind you. Everyone's still tiptoeing round out there. So the flag's out at Zandvoort and it's Antonelli who takes it. What a day for the youngster.
And here's the thing that doesn't show up on the results sheet. Our Reed had the one stop about 11 seconds better than a two stop today.
11 seconds. So the guys who committed early to one stop were quietly sitting pretty all afternoon.
They were. Tyre wear barely punished them out there, so their extra trip to the pits was pure loss. Big call, well made.
And even after the flag, Alonso, he's up into 8th. He came from 9th and just refused to let the day end quietly. Classic Fernando.
Never lifts. 40-something years old and still hunting every position that's on the table.
9th to 8th on the run home. And they're still trading places on the cool down. Sainz snatches 9th off the very last exchange. 10th to 9th, right at the death. Nobody switching off out there. And there it is, Lindblad. Remember we said one clean run and he's got him. There it is.
That's the
Oh, and hang on. Hulkenberg's done it too. Up into 10th. That's the one we've been watching all afternoon. Hulkenberg passed for 10th, right at the death.
And that's the undercut we called earlier. Softs against Lindblad's mediums. Fresh rubber worth over a second a lap. The board had it at 74, remember?
You said it takes barely a fifth of a lap to close that gap, and there it is. Meanwhile, Albon boxed a lap ago, 17.5 seconds, a touch quicker than the day's average. Bit late to matter now, though. You know who I keep coming back to? Antonelli, leading from the front all afternoon, no wobble, no mistakes.
And that's the hard part at Zandvoort. The slowest corner on the lap, turn 18, punishes anyone who overdrives. He never did.
Our driver of the day for me. Easy. First win and he made it look calm. Oh, and if you're enjoying the ride with us, hit subscribe and drop a like. It genuinely helps us keep doing this.
One thing that surprised me, Most of our counted passes came at turn 18 and turn 2, not where everyone expects. This place isn't the procession people think.
Last lap coming up at Zandvoort, and up front there's still a proper battle brewing. Norris right on the back of Antonelli for the lead. Can the kid hold it? One more lap, one slow corner at turn 13 where it all gets tight.
That's the one to watch. The slowest corner on the lap, taken at barely a third of top speed. You can't dive bomb it. So Norris has to be perfect on exit.
Which is exactly why leading here is so hard to crack. Antonelli just has to nail his lines and it's So that's it. Checkered flag at Zandvoort. What a way to seal your first win. And you know what I loved? The fight down in the midfield never let up either. Sainz and Hülkenberg scrapping for 9th to the very last.
That one's worth a mention.
Oh, wait, hold on. I have to correct myself there. Hülkenberg did get it done. 9th place snatched right at the flag. After all that scrapping, he found the way through. I said so close, and then he goes and does it.
And that's the fresher tyre finally telling. We watched that gap hover for laps, 3/10 closing bit by bit, and it only took one clean exit to make it stick.
What a finish to that little battle. Sainz will be gutted, but oh man, what a drive from Hülkenberg.
One thing I want to flag before we wrap. That fight for 4th, Piastri and Leclerc half a second apart at the flag.
Right, that one was simmering the whole way. Piastri kept nibbling at it.
And the data said he should. Leclerc's mediums were dropping off a full 10th a lap faster. Given another lap, that pass was coming.
So Leclerc hangs on to 5th by the skin of his teeth, timing the flag perfectly that one. And that's your race, folks. Kimi Antonelli, a maiden win at Zandvoort. 19 years old, leading every one of those final laps under real pressure.
And that's the part that stands out. Norris was right there the whole way, but the kid never gave him a sniff into.
And now the timing screen fills in the last piece. Sainz actually pitted late on lap 30. 17.8 seconds in the pit lane. That's why he was on fresher rubber for that late scrap.
There it is. That's the whole story of the Sainz-Hülkenberg fight right there. He gave up the track position for that stop, and it very nearly bought him 9th, nearly.
But Hülkenberg had the answer at the flag. Oh man, what a way to end a Sunday. You know who I want to talk about before we go? Antonelli's stint pace under all that pressure.
That's the thing that impressed me most. Leading isn't just about being quick. It's about not making the one mistake that hands it over. He never did.
Not a single lockup, not one scruffy exit onto that straight. 19 years old, remember?
And that's the marker for the rest of the year. If he can do it here, under Norris breathing down his neck, the pressure isn't going to break him.
One thing before we let you go, that midfield scrap for 11th. Lindblad and Gasly 4/10 apart, and it just held.
And it was never going to flip. Lindblad's mediums were the fresher story, Gasly losing about 7/100ths a lap more as those hards faded.
So he keeps him just out of reach to the flag. Quietly one of the better managed stints of the day, that one. You know what jumps out looking at the bigger picture? Piastri 4th, right behind Russell in the fight for the top of that title race.
And he was closing on Leclerc at the flag. His hard still had life, only 4/100ths a lap of drop. He just ran out of track.
One more lap and that's a different result, but that's Zandvoort. It never gives you room. Last lap now, and one thing I never got to properly say. Hamilton 6th, quietly hanging on in that Ferrari. He couldn't get close enough to Leclerc, but he brought it home clean. Not a bad Sunday for the second Ferrari.
And that's the honest read of Ferrari's day. 2 cars, 5th and 6th.
Oh, wait, Leclerc down the inside, and he's got Piastri. On the very last lap, 4th place changes hands and Piastri never saw it coming.
That's the fresher Tyre read finally landing. He'd been glued to him at 2/100ths. The second he got a sniff, he took it.
What a time to make the move. Leclerc jumps back ahead into turn 1 and that's the best Ferrari today. Oh man, they left it late. So Leclerc snatches 4th on the line, and now the only thing left is Antonelli taking the flag out front. He's got this, hasn't he? Norris just couldn't find the way through all afternoon.
And that's the honest picture. Our read all race had staying out worth it, and up front there was never a tyre offset for Norris to use.
Turn 16 coming up one final time, that's slow left, and then it's home. Antonelli's first win.
If you want the driver of the day, it's hard to look past Antonelli. Led it, controlled it, never let Norris into a real window.
First win and he made it look calm. That's the part that stands out for me. No wobble under pressure. Hang on, race control has something. Turn 1, cars 81 and 44, Piastri and Hamilton noted for driving erratically. Oh, I hope everyone's okay first. Let's see what actually happened there.
It's flagged as erratic driving, not a big shunt, so likely both cars are fine, but the stewards will want a proper look.
Right after Leclerc took 4th off him too, so Piastri's already had his hands full. We'll wait on the verdict. You know who I keep coming back to? Colapinto down in 16th.
His pace was quietly the better story back there. Only 2/10 off the ideal, 13 clean laps on that hard tyre.
And Sainz just couldn't hold him off in the long run, right? Oh, and there's a late stop we almost missed. Stroll boxing on lap 35, 17.2 seconds in the pits. Bit of a strange one this late, isn't it? Nothing left to gain, surely.
Probably just grabbing a fresh set for a clean final lap. No harm in it when you're that far back.
Fair enough. A free stop, basically, but everyone's eyes are still up front, aren't they? So the one stop just won it, plain and simple.
By our numbers, it was worth 10.3 seconds over stopping twice. That's the whole race right there.
And nobody up front had a reason to gamble against it. Smart, quiet racing from the leaders. Last lap now, and the leader Antonelli comes across the line to start it. Norris still there, but not close enough. The board's got the gap at 9/10 and steady. Norris just can't get near enough to try anything.
And that's the trouble here. Around Zandvoort, you need to be right on the gearbox before turn 1.
Antonelli into the last few corners now. This is it. He's got one hand on the trophy. Norris still 9/10 back, no gap to close, no move to make.
And there's a lap time gone for Piastri down in 6th. Track limits at turn 11.
And just as we're celebrating, word from the stewards, the turn 1 moment between Piastri and Hamilton. They've looked at it, no further investigation, filed under driving erratically, and that's the end of it.
Right call. A little clumsy, but...
Oh, hang on, there's the follow-up. Black and white flag for car 81 Piastri, driving erratically. So no penalty, but the warning's on the record now. That's the yellow card, basically.
Exactly that. It's a caution, not a punishment. Do it again, and it's the stewards for real next time.
Fair enough, 6th place stands, but he's on notice. Tidy little end to the day. Still a couple of scraps going on further down while we soak this in. Alonso and Albon, that battle for 11th is opening up now. The board's got it at 28 hundredths, but stretching, 53 out of 100. Albon just can't quite hang on.
And behind them, Pinto and Lindblad are the real one. Right on top of each other for 15th, 41 hundredths, dead steady.
That's the fight I want on the last lap. Nose to tail into turn 1, winner takes the point. Well, the position anyway. Pinto and Lindblad now, 21 hundredths and closing. The boards jump to 75 out of 100. That's the one to watch on the run to turn 1. Pinto has got a look.
And he's on fresher rubber, so that's worth about 1.5 seconds a lap around here. 21 hundredths is nothing to that.
So the undercut's basically done the job for him. He just has to finish it off. You know what really jumps out to me? Antonelli and Norris were separated by nothing all day, 509 at the flag. And look at those stint numbers, they were matched to the 100th. Plus 6 a lap, both of them same tyres.
That's why he never got the move done. Identical pace means you need a mistake, and Antonelli never gave him one.
So Norris takes it at Zandvoort, Leclerc and Hamilton round out the podium. Lovely days racing. But that battle for second, honestly, 0.65 all the way to the flag, and it never quite happened for Hamilton.
Our Reed was the undercut was there, worth a lap or so. But he was on the hards, 17 laps old, and Leclerc just wouldn't crack. No mistake, no move.
Both of them tenths apart on stint pace too. That's the kind of second place you're happy with and gutted about all at once. Last lap now, and Leclerc and Hamilton are still locked together. The board's got it at 47 hundredths and closing. This is the last chance. Turn 1 is where he has to try it, or it's gone.
And this is exactly why it's so hard here. Look at turn 23, the slowest corner on the lap, taken at a third of top speed. You can't carry a run out of a corner that slow, so there's no slingshot down to the line. That's why Hamilton's been stuck at half a second all day.
So it comes down to turn 1 or nothing. Deep breath, here they come. And that's the flag. Leclerc holds off Hamilton by the barest margin. What a scrap that was.
For me, the driver of the day is Leclerc, honestly. 20 laps on those mediums, never a wobble, never gave Hamilton a sniff.
That's the one, to keep a car that fast behind you for that long. Cool as anything. And don't forget behind all that, Antonelli holding off Piastri for 4th. That's a solid day for the young lad. Down in 14th, there was a quiet little scrap too. Sainz and Lindblad, 43 hundredths apart, and it just stayed there.
Both on the hards, both actually finding time at the end. -13 and -16 a lap. But steady means neither could force it.
So no fireworks back there, just two guys nose to tail all the way home. Oh wait, hang on, the timing's just updated. Hamilton's got second. It's Hamilton in P2. Leclerc drops to third.
That's the flag order confirmed. Hamilton found the move right at the death after all.
And it's not just the podium shuffling. The whole midfield's moved. Antonelli's got third, Piastri jumps to 4th, Russell up to 5th. So the young lad Antonelli ends up on the podium after all that. 3rd place at Zandvoort. Take a bow.
Now that Leclerc's stop makes sense of it, he came in on lap 43, an 18.7 stop.
Oh, so that's why he tumbled down at the death. He wasn't beaten on track at all.
Right. Coming in that late with a full pit loss around 19 seconds, there's just no getting that back over one lap.
So all that talk about Hamilton snatching it, the poor guy just handed it over in the pit lane. Cruel, honestly. Two laps to go, and there's still that fight down in 12th. Albon and Bortoleto, 2/10 apart and closing.
And that one's real. Albon's the faster car right now, plus 800ths a lap against Bortoleto's plus 28.
So the tyres are the difference.
Bortoleto's dropping off nearly 2/10 a lap quicker. He can't hold this to the flag.
Right, quick note from race control there. They're flagging the surface as slippery through track sector 16.
Something's gone down there, oil or a bit of gravel dragged onto the line. Worth watching on this last lap.
Oh, hang on, so Russell's done it. He's grabbed 4th off Piastri. He was 5th a moment ago and now he's through, right at the death.
That's Piastri's tyres finally giving up. Russell had the pace and just needed the door to open.
And there it is again. Leclerc's back through into 5th. Piastri's just tumbling now. That's another one gone.
Because he stopped, lap 44 and 18 won. Same trap Leclerc fell into.
Oh, come on, boxing with and another one falls. Lawson's through into 6th. He came from 7th and just made it stick. Everyone's tumbling past Piastri now. It's turned into a bit of a queue back there.
Same story. Worn tyres against fresh legs. Once he dropped out of the pits, he was a sitting duck.
And race control just gave us the all clear through sector 16. That slippery patch is gone. So Norris can attack that final stretch with total confidence now. No nasty surprise waiting for him.
Good timing. He didn't even need to lift. But now nobody behind does either on this last push.
Perfect. One clean run to the flag and this one's done. Bring it home, Lando. And down in the pack, Colapinto's just pitted, 18.3 in and out on lap 45. With 1 lap to go though, that's just tidying up for the finish, nothing more.
Nothing to gain there. Our read said staying out was worth 17.5 seconds, so that stops purely for a clean run home.
Right, so all eyes back to the front. Norris, final lap, bring it home clean. So there it is. Norris takes it at Zandvoort. Home crowd going wild. But you know who I'd give driver of the day to? Lawson.
7th to 6th on the last lap, on tyres that still had life. That's the read that matters. He timed his stint perfectly, while everyone around him...
Oh, hang on, it's Hamilton out front. He's taken the lead. And Antonelli's grabbed 2nd off Norris. The whole front row's just rewritten itself on the run to the flag.
There it is, ma. Norris boxed on lap...
And there's one more late shuffle. Tsunoda into 10th, up from 11th. He grabs a point right at the flag. That's Yuki tidying up the last scrap on offer today.
And Gasly's stop on lap 46, 18.1, cost him that spot. Same story we've told all afternoon. Box this late and you hand the place back.
Every single time today. What a way to end it though. Hamilton the winner and points changing hands all the way to the line. You know who quietly had a mess of an afternoon? Piastri, all the way back in 6th.
He committed to the two-stop and it just didn't pay. Our model had it over 11 seconds slower here. You can't give that back at Zandvoort.
And there's Lawson diving in on lap 47, an 18-2 stop. Oh man, another one throwing it away this late in the day.
Same trap. 19 seconds is the price we kept flagging. One lap from home, there's just no way to earn it back.
You could have stayed out, mate. Our Reed had it. Stopping now costs you the lot. So the flag's out and I keep coming back to Antonelli. Second place off the front row, late on, fresh rubber and no fear.
For me, that's the drive of the day. He read the undercut, executed it, and passed a McLaren on the road to make it stick.
Oh, and a little housekeeping just landed from race control. Sainz has a lap time deleted. 121.6 gone. Track limits at turn 3 back on lap 47.
Turn 3's a sneaky one. Easy to run wide chasing the exit. Doesn't change his finishing spot, just wipes that lap off the books.
Fair enough. Won't lose any sleep over that one. But the stewards never miss, do they? Last lap now, and there's still a scrap for 10th. Tsunoda and Gasly, 8 tenths apart, and it's holding steady. The board's got that one at 51 out of 100, basically a coin flip to the flag.
But Tsunoda's
And Hülkenberg peeled in a couple of laps back to a tidy 17-7 stop. Quick as it was, though, same story, isn't it? This late, there's nothing to gain from it.
nothing. A clean stop still costs you the best part of 18 seconds, and there's one lap to claw it back. You can't.
Free pit stop for a set of fresh tyres nobody's going to use. Haha, into the garage they go. Hamilton just needs to bring it home now. Final lap and he's got the win in his hands. Behind him, keep an eye on Norris. Antonelli's second, but Lando's not falling away in third.
He's out of laps to do anything though. Antonelli got the jump when it mattered and there's no room left to answer.
Yeah, one lap doesn't undo a good undercut. That one's settled. And that's the flag. Hamilton takes it at Zandvoort. A clean, controlled win from the front. You know who I'd give driver of the day to, though? Antonelli. That undercut on Norris for second was the whole race for him.
Agreed. The gap sat at 1.3 the whole final stint. 38 on the board. He built that lead when it counted and never let it come back.
Cool head for a kid in that seat, honestly. You know what I keep coming back to? That battle for 10th. Tsunoda played it perfectly, never panicked, just controlled the gap to the flag.
And the numbers back him up. He was quicker by a quarter of a second a lap on those softs, while Gasly's mediums were falling away. He was always going to hold it.
So the flag's out, but look at how close it got. Antonelli finished just 4/10 behind Hamilton at the line. 0.47 and closing, that board said. One more lap and who knows?
That's the thing. That's thing. The pace was dead even, both at 0 on the stint. It wasn't about tyres anymore, just track position.
And on a place like this, where turn 10 locks you into single file, track position is everything. Let's talk about Norris for a second, because I think third stings today. His tyres were dropping off nearly half a second a lap at the end. You can't defend from that.
That's the read, yeah. 0.49, a lap faster wear than Antonelli. He was hanging on, not racing.
Oh, and a late stop we almost missed. Bottas came in on lap 51. 19.6 seconds, that one. A touch slow, even by today's numbers.
With the median stop at 18.7, that's nearly a second lost in the box. Nothing riding on it now, though.
Yeah, pure housekeeping at this point. Get the fresh set on, cruise it home. Oh, hang on, wait a second. Norris is back through on Hamilton for the lead. He's got him. Down into turn 1, Lando Norris takes the top spot on the final lap. I had this at 0.02 the whole way, and it finally cracked. Hold on, we've got yellow flags in Sector 5. Something's happened out there on the final lap. Let me get eyes on it.
Sector 5 is the run down to the last chicane. Whatever it is, it's right at the death.
Everyone's got to back off through there. No, and through the yellows. Antonelli's snatched second back off Hamilton. Kimi Antonelli moves up to P2. Hamilton drops to third on the very last lap. Oh man, what a way to finish. The youngster gets it done at the death.
And that's the reward for even pace or stint. He was right there the whole way, just waiting.
And now it's official. Virtual safety car deployed on the final lap. That explains the yellows in Sector 5. Whatever happened, it's serious enough to freeze it.
So the order is locked. No one can improve now. Everyone holds station to the flag.
So Antonelli's move on Hamilton. And there it is on the board. Double yellow now in Sector 5, not single. That's the confirmation. Something stopped or spun right down at the last chicane.
Double waved yellow means slow right down. Be ready to stop. No.
And now the yellows spread. We've got a caution in Sector 4 as well. So it's not just the last chicane anymore. The whole back end of the lap is under yellow.
Marshals are just covering the full run to the flag. They want everyone crawling to the line, nice and safe.
Makes sense. 1 lap to go. Nobody needs to be a hero now. And a quiet little footnote. And now we've got marshals actually on track at turn 3. So that's why the whole back end is frozen. They're out there on foot, clearing something.
That raises the stakes on the yellows. With people on track, everyone has to be crawling. No exceptions all the way to the flag.
Right, so this last lap is basically a parade now. Norris just has to bring it home. One corner at a time, keep it clean. Let those marshals do their job. Wait, hang on, Russell's through on Hamilton for third. When did that happen?
That can't stand. Not under these yellows, no way that's a legal pass.
Right, so the board might say Russell in third, but the stewards will be all over this. Oh, hold on, that explains it. Hamilton actually boxed on lap 55. 18.7 for the stop, so that wasn't Russell muscling past. Lewis just peeled into the pits and handed him third.
There we go. No illegal pass.
And there's another one. Leclerc box 2, lap 55, 18.7 for the stop. So the same story. He peels in, hands the place along, no drama on track at all.
Free stop under these conditions. Everyone's crawling, so the pit loss barely hurts you now.
Smart, fresh rubber, nothing to lose. And up front it's done. Norris just needs to reach the flag. And there it is. Sector 5 is clear. Race control's given us the all clear. Marshals are back behind the barriers. The green's coming. And this last lap suddenly has some life again.
Late for anything to change up front, but the driver...
And the checkered flag is out for Lando Norris. What a moment for him at Zandvoort. That orange sea in the grandstands has been waiting all weekend for this.
And he controlled it perfectly. Never gave anyone a sniff up front.
Russell holds second, Antonelli third after all that chaos with the stops. What a day. You know who I keep looking at? Antonelli. Third place on debut at a track like this.
And he held Hamilton at arm's length all day. The board had that gap steady at 1.34. Never let it come to him.
That's the composure of someone way older than he is. Really impressive stuff. Hold on, look further back. Gasly's got Tsunoda for 10th. Down the inside, he makes it stick. Pierre Gasly grabs the last point right on the line.
And that's the undercut we called. Fresher legs closed that little gap in no time.
Last lap scrap for a single point. That's the stuff I love, honestly. You know, we keep talking about the podium, but nobody's mentioning Piastri sitting 6th.
That one stings. On paper he had the pace, but he was stuck behind Leclerc for the whole final stint and never got the run.
Zandvoort does that to you. Nowhere to pass, and you just sit there waiting for a mistake that never commits. You know what I want to flag before we wrap? Leclerc in 5th. Quiet race, but he did a proper job holding Piastri back all stint.
He read that slowest corner perfectly. Turn 13, taken at barely a quarter of top speed. Get your line right there and nobody's coming past.
That's why Zandvoort's so brutal to overtake at. Slow, tight, and one clean apex ends the argument. Oh, and if you're enjoying the ride with us, hit subscribe and drop a like. It genuinely helps us keep doing this. But the kid takes it for me today. Antonelli, third on debut, holding Hamilton off lap after lap. That's the one I'll remember. One more thing before we let you go, that Albon and Colapinto fight for 15th. Never made the papers, but it was a proper little duel all stint.
And our read said the undercut was on there. Albon's mediums were fading about 0.08 a lap faster. Fresh rubber was worth over 2 seconds a lap today.
So it was never quite going to happen in the laps they had left. Shame, would have loved to see it. Gracias, Raiza, qué alegría leerte. Nos hacía falta a todos y llegamos justo a la vuelta 60 de 61. A disfrutar el final. Oh, and there it is. Leclerc goes and grabs the fastest lap, 1 minute 14.2. Cheeky. 5th place, quiet afternoon, and he nicks the extra point on the way home.
Clean air finally. Once Piastri backed off, he...
Oh, hang on. Word coming through from race control. Perez, lap 57, a time deleted. Track limits at turn 3.
Bit late to matter now, but that's Zandvoort's turn 3 for you. So easy to run wide on exit and lose the lap.
Tidy little housekeeping note on the last lap. Doesn't change a thing up front. Norris still sailing home. Oh, and another one from race control. Hang on. Colapinto, car 43, noted for a yellow flag infringement.
That's a serious one, actually. If he didn't back off under the yellows, that's a penalty coming.
On the very last lap too. Nothing to gain there, buddy. Just lift and be safe. So there it is. Norris wins at Zandvoort, Russell second, Antonelli a debut podium in third. But let's look ahead. Norris walking away with this one keeps him right in the mix, up top.
And Zandvoort rewards clean qualifying. Hard to pass here. Get the lap in on Saturday and half the job's done.
You know who I want to talk about? Antonelli, first podium at a track this tricky.
And he held off nobody's charity to get it. Kept Hamilton behind him the whole way to the flag.
For a rookie on a circuit where you basically can't overtake? That's the one I'll remember from today. Last lap running now, and further back there's still a scrap on. Sainz and Albon 6/10 and closing for 14th. Sainz has been the quicker man all stint. Look at that. 100th a lap up while Albon's fading.
And Albon's on the medium. Tyre's going off just a touch faster. It's why the gap keeps shrinking, but he's out of laps to do anything about it.
One corner too late. If this were lap 40 instead of the last one, we'd have a real fight there. You know who slipped under the radar today? Leclerc 5th, ahead of Piastri.
That one stings for McLaren. Piastri stuck in 6th all afternoon, and here of all places you just can't force your way through.
Right, that's the Zandvoort tax. Qualify wrong, pay all Sunday. Final lap now, and while it's settled up front, look at turn 6 coming up, the slowest corner on the whole lap. They crawl through there at barely a quarter of top speed, a proper 90-degree left.
And that's exactly why nobody passes here. You get so slow you'd need the guy in front to make a real mistake to even try it.
Right, no runoff, no room, no reward, you just tuck in and wait for the exit. You know what I keep coming back to? Norris. He controlled that from lights to flag on a track where one slip ends your day.
That's the underrated part. No safety car to bail anyone out, dry all afternoon, and he never gave Russell a sniff.
Clean, calm, done. Sometimes the boring win is the best win, eh? Two laps to go, and let's not forget that scrap for 12th. Lindblad and Bortoleto, a tenth and a half apart. Lindblad's the quicker one there, look. He's actually gaining while Bortoleto's tyres let go.
Bortoleto's on the soft and they're falling off a third of a second a lap faster. That gap's only going one way.
So even way back in the pack, the story's the same as up front. Right car, right rubber, wins the day. Hang on, Antonelli's through. He's got Russell for second. Down the inside, done it, and now he's got Norris in his sights on the very last lap.
And remember the board. That battle was scoring 89. Gap at 1700ths. He's right there.
Oh, and here comes the paperwork. Franco Colapinto, under investigation. Yellow flag infringement, the stewards say. Something happened while the caution was out.
That's a common one. If he didn't lift enough through a yellow, that's a penalty coming, simple as that.
Hope he's all right first, then we sort out the rest. But on the last lap, that's the last thing his team wanted to see. So the flag's out, and let's give Antonelli his due. He ran out of road by a whisker there. Second on the day, but that last lap, that's the drive people will remember.
And the one stop was the right read all along. Our model had it over 10 seconds better than stopping twice. Everyone who tried to get clever paid for it.
And now another one lands on the steward's desk. Car 30 Lawson, under investigation. Same thing as Colapinto, a yellow flag infringement. Whatever happened out there, it caught two of them.
That tells you something. If two drivers get flagged for the same yellow, the caution came out somewhere blind and they didn't lift in time.
Right at the death of the race too. That's the worst timing for it. You're pushing flat out on the last lap and suddenly there's a hazard you barely see. You know who deserves a mention here? Hamilton quietly. He hung on to Russell all the way to the flag. A quarter of a second at the end, the board had that fight at 74.
He was chasing on softs that were fading faster though. Look at the pace, Russell flat, Hamilton dropping off nearly a tenth a lap more. Fourth was about all he had.
And there's more housekeeping from the stewards. Sainz, lap deleted. Track limits at turn 1, back on lap 65, ran wide and lost the time.
Turn 1 at Zandvoort is banked and quick. Easy to run a wheel over the line when you're carrying that speed.
And here we go again. Another lap deleted, this time car 23, Albon. Same corner, same lap. Turn 1, lap 65, track limits.
That's the second one from that exact spot. When two cars run wide at the same corner on the same lap, it's the surface, not the drivers. Turn 1 is banked and it invites you out there.
So the stewards are earning their money today, but none of it touches the top 6. Norris wins it at Zandvoort. You want a fun one from further back? That Alonso and Gasly scrap for 9th went right to the flag. 0.44 and opening up, the board had it at 51 all the way.
And the tyres were barely wearing there, so there was no undercut to play.
And now, virtual safety car. On the final lap, the boards are lit. That's tied to whatever caught Lawson and Colapinto. A hazard out there, and they're neutralising it.
On the last lap, it barely changes the order. Everyone just holds station and eases off through the...
Oh, and there it is. The stewards again. 10-second penalty for Lawson, car 30. Yellow flag infringement. So whatever caused that virtual safety car, he didn't back off enough when the boards went yellow.
That's the one that scares drivers the most. You have to lift and...
Double yellow now in sector 7, so it's escalated. That's not a warning, that's danger. Car or debris right on the racing line. On the last lap of the year at Zandvoort, that's the flag you don't want to see.
Double yellow means be ready to stop. Whatever it was.
And it moves along, double yellow now in sector 8. So whatever it is, it's travelling, or there's more than one thing out there. Hang on, recovery vehicle on track at turn 5. That's why the boards are lit.
That's the concern right there.
And that's it. Track clear, all sectors green. We are racing to the flag. Sectors 7 and 8. Both clear now. The recovery's done. The road is open.
And just in time, one clean lap left to settle everything.
Norris out front, Antonelli behind, and back down the order the fights are live again. Hamilton right on Leclerc, under a second. Last lap now, and it's Russell and Hamilton for third. 8/10, holding steady. Hamilton's been hanging on for laps, but he just can't quite close it.
And he won't on this lap. Look at the board. Russell steady, Hamilton softs dropping off nearly 2/10 a lap quicker. That gap's more likely to grow than shrink.
So the door's basically shut. Russell... Oh, and there's contact. Turn 1, Sainz and Albon have come together. That's a collision, race control noting it. Cars 55 and 23 tangled at the very first corner.
On the last lap of all places. Let's just hope both drivers are out and okay before we...
And there it is officially. The stewards are looking at turn 1, cars 55 and 23, Sainz and Albon for causing a collision.
Post-race, that one. Nothing they decide now changes the flag, but it could shuffle the final...
And here it comes. The stewards have moved there. 10-second time penalty for car 55, Sainz, for causing that collision at turn 1.
Quicker than I expected. That drops him down the order once they apply it. So the final result at the back isn't what crosses the line.
So don't lock in those lower positions just yet. But up front, none of it matters. Norris is about to take the flag. And there it is, folks. Lando Norris takes the win. Kimi Antonelli second. George Russell rounds out the podium.
A really clean drive from Norris at the front, and Antonelli holding off Russell to the flag. That's the one to watch there.
Loved having you all with us today, and the chat was buzzing the... And that's the checkered flag confirmed, session officially finished. The marshals waving those double yellows through the back sectors as everyone winds down.
Standard stuff now. Cars slowing, pit lane opening up.
Still a few flags fluttering around the lap here. Sector 5's just gone clear, but we've got double yellows waving through Sector 7 and 11.
That'll be the marshals still recovering cars from the Turn 1 incident. Nothing dramatic, just clearing the debris.
Couple more flags popping up as they wind down. Double yellows now through Sector 50. Sector 7 went green for a second there, and it's back to double yellow again. Marshals still busy.
They're just working their way around the lap, clearing everything from that Turn 1 mess. No rush, no drama.
And 11's flashing yellow again too. Bit of a game of whack-a-mole out there, but it's all routine. And now Sector 6 joins the party. Yellow flag waving there too as they keep working around the lap.
Same job, different corner. They're just methodically clearing everything from that Turn 1 incident.
Makes sense. Turn 1's the slowest corner on the whole lap, that 90-degree right, so if anything ended up in the gravel there, it takes a minute to get it out safely. Nothing to worry about though. Cars are all crawling home to Parc Ferme, marshals doing their thing. You know who I want to talk about? That Hamilton and Leclerc scrap for fourth.
Half a second apart the whole way, and neither of them could make it stick. The board had it at 59, a proper stalemate.
Sector 11 flicked yellow again there, and it's already gone back to green. They really are working their way round, corner by corner, mopping up after that Turn 1 incident. But that's the last of it. 11's clear now, and the lap's just about tidy. And there it is. Sector 15 goes green. That's the whole lap clear now. The mop-up is done. Marshals can take a breath. So that's your Netherlands Grand Prix. Lando Norris takes the win at Zandvoort. Home crowd or not, he was in a class of his own today.
And a well-earned one. Never really looked troubled out front once he had clean air.
Let's give Antonelli a mention though. Second place at Zandvoort, right behind Norris.
Quietly brilliant. He kept Russell at arm's length all afternoon without ever putting a wheel wrong.
For a kid still learning these tracks, holding off a teammate like that, that's the stuff you remember. Spare a thought for Piastri, though. 6th place, and that'll sting after the year he's having.
It will. When you're that far back on a track where nobody can pass, the race gets away from you fast.
And that's the thing about Zandvoort, isn't it? Once you're stuck in a train, you're stuck.
Turn 1 is the only real chance, and it's the slowest corner on the lap. Brake late and you're in the gravel. Nobody wanted that risk today.
You know the number that jumps out at me from today? That one-stop read.
11 seconds better than a 2-stop by our model. On a track where you can't pass, the last thing you want is to hand.
And 16 and 17 tick green too. The whole circuit is clean, top to bottom. So as the leaders come round for the final time, there's nothing left to worry about but the flag. Norris crosses the line. That's the win, wire to wire. You know who I want to talk about? Hamilton and Leclerc, that scrap for 4th. Half a second apart the whole way to the flag. Neither one blinked.
And the pace was almost identical. Hamilton at plus 1200ths a lap. Leclerc at plus...
Hang on, double yellows now. Sector 16 and 17. Something's happened out there. Right at the death of the race too. Let's just hope everyone's okay first.
Both flags are in the final sector, so it's someone who's stopped or gone off on the way home. Waved yellows means slow down, no overtaking through there.
With the leaders already across the line, it shouldn't change the podium, but anyone still running has to back right off through there. So the flag's out, everyone's home safe by the looks of it. Let me give you my driver of the day. Antonelli, 2nd place, right behind Norris, on a track where the kid had never raced before today.
That's the one that stands out for me too. No mistakes, no drama, just quietly held station all afternoon. Hard to ask for more from a rookie here.
On the trickiest layout on the calendar, no less. Not bad at all. And there we go. 16's clear, 17's clear too. Track's all green again. Whatever it was out there, it's cleaned up. No harm done to the finish.
Which was always likely, with the leaders already home. Nothing back there could touch the top 6.
You know what I keep coming back to? That one-stop call for the front runners. They read this one perfectly, no panicking into a second stop.
Our model had it 11 seconds better than 2 stops. Around here, one long stint and you protect the tyres. That was always the way to go.
One more before we let this one go, that Hamilton and Leclerc fight for fourth. Our model reckoned fresh tyres were worth 2 seconds a lap out there. If either had pitted, the undercut was on.
But neither team wanted to risk the track position over a single spot. Half a second, steady all day. You don't gamble that.
One thing I want to flag before we sign off. Piastri, 6th today. That's a quiet afternoon for him, and with Norris winning up front, that's points handed back in the title fight.
It is. Norris needed a day like this and he got the maximum out of it. The gap tightens from here.
One I haven't mentioned yet, that's scrap for 12th, Lindblad and Bortolito. Half a second apart, all the way to the flag. Miles off the points, but a proper little duel back there.
And Bortoleto was fighting a losing battle. His tyres were dropping off nearly 2/10 a lap quicker. Lindblad on that long hard stint just had more left.
One last thought before we go. Zandvoort done, and now we head off to Monza next. From the tightest, twistiest layout, we've got straight to the fastest one on the calendar. Total opposite.
And that flips everything. Low downforce, long straights. A track where the undercut we talked about today actually turns into a slipstream battle. Norris will want to keep this run going there.
You know who I wanted to give a nod to before we go? Antonelli, 2nd today. That's a serious result for a kid this early in his career, right there with Norris at the flag.
And he held Russell off all afternoon. That's the bit that impresses me. No wobble under pressure from a teammate right on his gearbox.
One more little detail I love from the data, that fight for 4th. Hamilton and Leclerc matched to the 100th of a second all day. Hamilton at plus 1200ths a lap, Leclerc at plus 11. You couldn't split them if you tried.
Two very different drivers, identical tyres, identical pace. That's the kind of stat you frame.